Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle. Today is a fun little video. We are doing 5 underrated weapon mods. Some mods that either don't have enough downloads, haven't got enough attention, or even may be well known, but just aren't referenced whenever I see big lists of weapon mods. So these are definitely some really cool ones that are worth checking out, and I really enjoy myself. So for starters, we have the single shotgun by Bwones. This mod adds the single shotgun from Fallout New Vegas into the game. This is an awesome addition to the game as it fills in a much needed category that never gets enough attention, and that is the early leveled lists. People love to make really cool high-tech M4s, but they never care about those first 10 levels where you're walking around and all you see is pipe guns. You're playing modded Fallout because you want to see mods, and this is a mod that, just like the 32 pistol, adds in a very early level weapon. Its leveled lists are pretty much identical to the double barrel shotgun, and, well, it's a single shotgun. Single barrel, you shoot it, you reload it, one more shot, and this is a really beautiful model. I love the engravings on it. Not a ton of customization, however, it's pretty much the same amount as there is for the double barrel in the vanilla game, which I think is appropriate given that it is an early game weapon. But like I said, a much needed service of fleshing out those leveled lists for those first few levels. And a really cool weapon at that. Usually you see that with a chintzy pipe gun or something, but this is a nice, perfectly modeled, rustic style shotgun, and one of my favorites. Always have it installed, and I love running across it in my leveled list. This is a really cool one, and if you haven't checked it out yet, it's definitely one that you should check out. Again, it uses vanilla reload animations from the double barrel shotgun, but I don't have a problem with that. And if you see it in the video, it honestly looks fine to me. I think it fits perfectly, so there's no need for a custom animation. And it's just a really good one. One that I really like and always run, and I recommend you try out for yourself. For our second mod on this list, we have the 5.56mm pistol by Bwones. This adds the 5.56mm pistol, also known as that gun, from Fallout New Vegas into the game, although it's also a gun from Blade Runner, but I digress. This adds the very famous pistol into Fallout 4, and this pistol is technically actually made by Doom from the very early years of Fallout 4 modding, but this version by Bwones actually has custom animations and levelless integration, so it's just kind of a step up. Again, the original model by Doom, but Bwones has added custom animations from another mod author and put it all into one nice little package. This mod has the proper lighting of the 5.56mm pistol from Blade Runner, where it will turn yellow while reloading and is green when it's ready to fire. It's really cool. The textures, of course, could use some work because this is a very old mod. However, if this thing were to eventually get a facelift and even include the firing sounds included from, say, Fallout New Vegas, that would put this to a top tier mod that I could, never put away. It would always have to be in my load order because I love that gun from Fallout New Vegas. By no means am I going and saying this is the best weapon mod on the Nexus, but definitely worth a download, especially if you like that gun. There doesn't seem to be a better version on the Nexus at this moment, and this mod just deserves a little bit more attention than it's gotten. It really is a neat one and something that is definitely worth checking out, so it'll be linked in the description as always. Up next, we have the Bumper Sword by MikeMoore. MikeMoore is a master of melee weapons, and he brings some great justice to the Bumper Sword, which is, again, from Fallout New Vegas. That was an accident, I promise. Yet another New Vegas weapon in Fallout 4 that really deserved to be there. The most important part of this mod to me is that it adds to the super mutant leveled list. In Fallout New Vegas, you would often find super mutants with bumper swords. Swords that were made out of car bumpers. You know, it just makes sense. And the fact that they didn't have any sort of melee weapon like that, unique to the super mutants aside from the nail board, that's just kind of weak to me, Fallout 4. So the Bumper Sword brings in a much needed weapon for the super mutants to have, especially for the melee weapon side of things, and you don't see that many cool melee weapon mods, so this is a nice one to have. There are a couple of modifications here and there, nothing too crazy though, because again, it is a melee weapon, and it really doesn't need much. It's super intimidating as it is, it's huge and gigantic, it looks like your character literally struggles to hold this, which is good because it is intended for use by super mutants, and like I said, anything that adds to the super mutant level list for weapons is a plus for me because there's just not enough out there, and a lot of times if you use replacer mods, it'll actually remove weapons from the super mutants and then they start running at you with their bare fists, and that's not what we want. This helps to fill a void and provides a very valuable service. Not to mention, it's a really cool weapon and a unique one. You don't really see too many gigantic yet lore-friendly swords in Fallout. so this is definitely one you should try out. For our next mod, we have the Mauser Pistol by GrinnginUrchen. This adds the Mauser semi-automatic pistol that harkens back to the Chinese pistol from Fallout 3. Again, yet another callback, but this is an excellent, well-made, and very nice handcrafted weapon here. Now there's actually an additional mod that you can download as well that will add custom animations to this thing, and it may be a little bit confusing for those of you gun nuts out there because a typical Mauser C96 is a top-fed stripper clip using Nightmare, and the custom animation that's included in this mod is a magazine. And even in Fallout 3, it did use the stripper clip, which is the lore-friendly, accurate version. However, this is just the blanket Mauser pistol, not the C96, so it could be potentially the Model 712, which actually did have access to fully automatic fire modes as well as a detachable magazine, which is what is featured in this mod. If you take it to the workbench, you actually do have the ability to put it into full auto, attach a scope, suppressor, and extended mag onto this thing because why the hell not? It's Fallout 4, and you can do pretty much anything at a weapons workbench anymore. But I was kind of thrown off too with the whole stripper clip magazine issue, but I did some research and found that there actually were some versions that did have this. So, lore friendliness in the clear. Now, as to whether or not you'd find one of these in a real-world apocalypse, probably not. But in the Fallout universe, the Chinese pistol, as it were, was the Mauser pistol, essentially, and was used up until the war. Not sure why, but it was, and you found it very often in Fallout 3 among lower-level raiders, and now you can bring it into Fallout 4 to complete your collection of old-school Fallout weapons, and this is a beautiful weapon. There's no reason not to have this one, especially if you like the Mauser. And for our final mod, we are checking out the Walther Gewehr 43 by Subleader. The Gewehr 43 is actually a mod I covered pretty early on in our mod reviewing days, but it's still a really cool mod that holds up pretty well. And I don't see it a lot in people's load orders, but I really do like it. And there are some add-ons for additional attachments, leveled list integration, and all that fun stuff. Honestly, I really enjoy the model of this one. I think the iron sights are beautiful, and I'm just a fan of wooden stock rifles in general. But of course, you can modify it to add some custom attachments and stocks and suppressors, all that fun stuff to make it a little bit more modern and sleek. But I personally just run that wood stock, and it looks great. The animation on this is really nice, and the sounds are beautiful, and I really enjoy finding this one out in the world. Every time I run into one, I get a little smile on my face because I really do enjoy this rifle. It's a neat one, it's old, it fits the Fallout theme in my opinion. How exactly the Wastelanders got their hands on one, not entirely sure, but it is still really cool, and fits the vibe and the Fallout aesthetic in my opinion. Not to mention there is a little bit of user bias here, as again it is early on in my mod reviewing days, so it's a little bit nostalgic for me. Regardless, it's a really good weapon mod, and if you haven't tried it out yourself, you may want to try it. Lots of cool attachments on this one, really fun to use, awesome mod. And that's gonna bring us to the end of our video. I hope you guys found at least some mods maybe you didn't hear about. That was kind of the intention with this one. Again, picking some underrated mods that you maybe don't see whenever people recommend mods. And these are definitely some quality ones. Now, by no means are they the top of the line perfect mods, but they are some that definitely need more attention that they are getting. All of the mods on this list are really nice, and I like them a lot, and they're all ones that I actually use personally. So, again, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. It helps us get into that algorithm and gets more mod recommendations to the people who need them. And if you like these mod bundles, we do them every week on Wednesday, so consider subscribing because we have more of those coming, along with other Fallout 4 modding series. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!